My name is Jennifer Flores. Our group presentation is going to be on data warehousing. My group members are Allison Brown, Mariana Hernandez, and Lance Strand. So what is data warehousing? A data warehouse is a type of data management system that is designed to enable and support business intelligent activities. Data warehouses are solely intended to perform queries and analysis and often contain large amounts of historical data. It is a central repository of information that can be analyzed to make more informed decisions. Data flows into a data warehouse from transactional systems, relational databases, and other sources. A data warehouse environment includes an extraction, transportation, and transformation and loading solutions, an online analytical processing engine, client analysis tools, and other applications that manage the process of gathering data and delivering it to business users. How a data warehouse works. A data warehouse may contain multiple databases. Within each database, data is organized into tables and columns. Within each column, you can define a description of the data, such as integer, data field, or string. Tables can be organized inside of schemas, which you can think of as folders. When data is ingested, it is sorted into various tables described by the schemas. Query tools use the schema to determine which data table to access and analyze.
My name is Allison Brown, and I'm going to be speaking to you about the hardware devices used. A typical data warehouse contains the following hardware components. One being the integrated disk storage, two being the redundant components. Data redundancy is a condition created within database or data storage technology in which the same piece of data is held in two separate places. You also have servers, you have computers, which is the icon shown on the screen, and then you also have ETL tools. For the ETL tools, I gave two examples, one of them being Query Surge, which is an ETL testing solution developed by RTTS. It is built specifically to automate the testing of data warehouses and big data. It ensures that the data extracted from data sources remains intact in the target systems as well. There's also Xplenty, which is a cloud-based ETL solution providing simple visualized data pipelines for automated data flows across a wide range of sources and destinations. The company's powerful on-platform transformation tools allow its customers to clean, normalize, and transform their data while also adhering to compliance best practices. The next thing I'm going to be speaking about is protocols and standards. Data warehouse standards are essential factors of success that spell the difference between organizations' data warehouse projects' success and failure. Some of the standards in data warehousing spells what needs to take place in areas such as transformation standards, which focuses on ways of moving data in the warehouse, data source researching standards, which outlines various sources of data, and then also standards for determining user requirements, which addresses what users want, what they need, and what they are willing to pay. So listed below are some of the technical parameters for a database warehouse. It must have a clear height minimum of 8 to 10 meters, loading ramps 1 meter above zero level, and zero level gates. Loading docks, it's 1 dock per 800 meters squared within a rural, 1 dock per 500 meters squared in a city. The column grid of 24 by 12 meters, and then 5 off-floor loading capacity, and a 24-hour surveillance and security mechanism. In the next slide, I have showed some examples, some pictures of what a data warehouse should look like, because I know just going based off these parameters, it can be difficult to understand.
Hi, I'm Mariana, and I'll tell you a little bit about the strengths and the weaknesses. So for one of the pros that data warehousing has is that it can quickly retrieve data, so you'll never lose track of the data you've inputted because you'd be able to bring it up with a quick search. Another pro is the error identification and correction that it has. So what it can do is detect inconsistencies when you're inputting the data, and it'll point them out so that way you can correct them. Lastly, it has easy integration. So what that means is that it's integrated into applications like CRM systems. So it'll allow employees to easily translate data in a simple manner. For the disadvantages, it can be kind of difficult for business owners to figure out how to use most of it, since software programs and operating systems can be kind of tricky to compute. Another weakness is the cost. So it's expensive to purchase the hardware and software alone, but there's also recurring costs, like, for example, the salaries and wages for IT professionals that you would have to hire. And lastly, it can be time consuming. So even though the data warehousing simplifies the business data, you still have to input the raw data, which can be a little time consuming. Since data warehousing has so many benefits, it also has a wide range of applications. So, for example, for retail services, it can keep track of merchandise, consumer buying trends, and sales. For manufacturing and distribution, it can predict market changes. For hospitality and healthcare, it can generate patient, employee, and financial records. For banking, finance, and insurance, it can track performance of accounts and user data, evaluate customer expenses trends, and predict and analyze changes in the industry. For government, it can predict criminal activities from patterns and trends. And then for education, it also helps to maintain student portals for student activities. And then for telephone and transportation, it tracks customer profiling and screening and analyzes revenue patterns and profitability. Data warehousing has a couple of competing technologies like extract, transform, and others that are here listed on the screen. Respectively, they have their own advantages and disadvantages, but it all depends on what the business or the consumer who's interested is looking for to determine which one is the best. So if they're interested in quick retrieval of data, error identification and correction, and easy integration, well then data warehousing would be the best option.
My name is Lance Strand, and I'm here to speak to you about real-world case studies when companies have implemented data warehouses. In a case study done on a clinical data repository, or CDR, gave users direct access of clinical, financial, and administrative data. In this 5-year case study, the results were astonishing. Like most, this data warehouse was built to advance operational efficiency. It has led to far more than that, as not only being available for the physicians and administrators, but allowing access to researchers and students. It led to a great source of research and education. Through the data warehouse, the CDR was able to achieve their operational efficiency they set out for, but also monitor user population, administer and track a survey to better their performance. The greatest effect is timeliness, allowing the users to get information needed much faster than before. The negatives from the data warehouse, like in the CDR, information was never envisioned for non-research applications, although it was used for a performance tracking survey. Sometimes the data is used other than intended. Additionally, the initial time it takes to become proficient at the system to receive the information from your query. To fix this, they would have needed to build a separate data warehouse for students and researchers. That may have helped the situation. Second case study is a 16-week case study. upon implementing a data warehouse at Hagen Supermarkets. Upon rolling out the software to all 32 stores across Washington state, the results were instant. With the issue of quality control and inventory as a point of emphasis, they rolled out the system that would be multifaceted. The data warehouse consisted of inventory tracking as well as administrative reports. Some tracking, which once took the company 3 days to report, now was reported within minutes. The application has since grown from initial launch. It has been branched out to all branches within the company, including sales, human resources, payroll, and loss prevention. The constant reporting has led to better sales margins and better managerial decision making. All things considered, the data warehouse has been a huge success and has helped the company with growth. Now we'll take a second to go over a couple of future directions for data warehousing. Probably the most predominant is cloud-based data warehouses. They've helped more businesses transition to data warehouses because it eliminates having to purchase the hardware and maintain the hardware with an IT staff. Cloud-based data warehouses have allowed to deliver a cost-effective approach for streamlining data and helping improve productivity. The second is column-based storage. Column-based storage is now becoming a very popular way to store data than the alternative of a row data storage. This is because the speed at which businesses can analyze data from column-based storage is far superior than row-based. Although this is a small change, we can see how even the smallest of changes in something as life-changing for a company like a data warehouse is truly a big deal. The next direction we'll talk about is complex data marts. They started as a subset of data warehouses in order to address specific business functions. Data marts allow for integration of enterprise and web data, expanding the business analytics. Data marts also allow for large complex data to be pulled from different sources and make it accessible to the business. The last direction we'll talk about is automation. Data warehouse automation has eliminated the dependency of IT personnel almost altogether. Streamlining by adding the automation factor has eliminated the expensive time-consuming creation of data warehouses and lowered the project's costs and raised productivity, as it has eliminated the need for hand coding. Data warehouse automation has also made it easier to change with the systems as they change. In conclusion, companies using the features of data warehouses that are subject-oriented, integrated, time-variant, non-volatile, and summarized have full data governance. While understanding the data won't be deleted, changed, or lost, data warehouses create a one-stop shop for unaltered data, allowing increased productivity, saving time, and creating better margins.